Hello, Valerie. It is very nice to meet you. My name is Isabella Vargas, and I'll be interviewing you today for the job of marketing manager.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Isabella.
And we will cover both specific and broad questions, but there's no pressure to answer in any which way. Are you ready to get started?
I am.
Okay, so what what specific types of communication are useful in marketing management and why?
So, marketing is all about communicating, whether you're talking to your customers, your prospects, or people on your team internal to your company. And so, understanding the needs of the person you're communicating to is of critical importance. So, understanding your audience. Once you understand your audience, then you know how to address them, things that might interest them, appeal to them, to garner their interest in what you have to say. You might use tactics such as email or direct marketing, or you might use more mass tactics, things like advertising or digital, to communicate with those audiences. Internal to a company, you have to be really tight and succinct in communicating with one another so that you understand together what the objectives are you're trying to achieve, what business problem you're trying to solve, and ultimately how you're going to measure the success of what you put out into market as marketing.
Okay, so how would you create a productive environment within a team?
So the number one thing I think is important is inclusion. Humans need to be seen and heard. That's the main thing that we crave. So, to create a productive work environment, you need psychological safety among the team. Your team members need to feel like they can speak up, they can add value, they can bring their ideas unbridled to the table, because when you're able to cross pollinate with one another and share ideas, you ultimately can get to even better ideas. So, inclusion, so that everyone feels a part of the team and comfortable to communicate with one another, would be the priority.
All right, and then what are the biggest challenges you have faced when leading a group of people?
So I think it's twofold. One, in the team itself, if the team dynamic is not established early on with everyone having a common goal, that's a huge challenge because you've got people moving in different directions, thinking they're accomplishing the thing that they are responsible for, but you really need to move forward as a team. I think the second part to that, in challenges of getting to the best outcome, is when you're not aligned to an overall strategy of what you're trying to accomplish. What business problem are you solving?
All right. And so when you do solve these business problems, I was wondering, how do you utilize creativity when solving these problems?
Well, I think creativity is a number one way to solve business challenges, especially in the realm of marketing, because that's what we are responsible for, is using creativity to achieve. So let's say that the business problem you're trying to solve is growth of a particular audience or segment for a product or service that you've taken to market. And so aligning to that business challenge, understanding that audience, knowing what might appeal to them, what their mindset is the best way then to creatively identify ways to achieve the goal of growing that audience. And so we like to use, in my marketing experiences, insights, really getting clear on the insights, the human truths around your audience segment that might make the difference so that they see themselves in the creative you put into the market and they're more apt to reach out to you and consider the product you have to offer.
Okay. Um, well, I guess that kind of addressed dealing with problems inside of the business, but I was wondering um on the external, how have you helped problem solve for an upset customer?
Yeah. So again, humans like to be seen and heard. It is an innate need that we have. So when a customer comes in, let's say to a retail environment, the first thing you need to do is listen to the customer. You need to hear them out, give them their moment to convey to you what has transpired, why they're upset, maybe why they're dissatisfied with the product that they've purchased from you. You need to let them get all of that out without interrupting them. And while they're communicating that to you, you need to provide active listening, nodding your head, listening intently, and listening without the intent to respond. So you're really hearing what they're saying. Then, after they have finished and you've figured out what the challenge is or the problem, your next step then is to ensure that you convey to the customer what you heard them tell you. So, clarify, okay, so this is the problem I think we're trying to solve, and make sure that there is alignment. And from there, you can begin to identify potential solutions to offer to that customer. But the first thing you do is just listen.
That makes sense. And um I mean, we've been talking a lot about communication during this interview, and as a marketing manager, sometimes you do have to speak publicly. So, I was wondering, how have you tailored your communication style to help create goodwill and trust for different audiences?
So I think the best way to have an engaging public speaking opportunity is by telling stories. We as human beings ingest information best when it is told in a story, and that makes it the most memorable as well. So, aligning to stories that will be really relevant to the audience that you're communicating with, I find is the best way to get your points across. The second thing that I do is I use a format to answer the questions what, so what, now what. The what is the problem, the challenge, or the information you're conveying. The so what is the insight behind that. So, what do we know about that problem or challenge? And then the now what takes you to, so what do we do about it? How do we address it?
All right, and now for some more broad questions, I was wondering what those around you would consider your biggest weakness.
Um, I think they would probably tell me that sometimes I might go for the close. I am often so confident in what I'm conveying that they feel like if they give me feedback, I might not be able to take it in because I've already addressed or thought through the challenges that they might bring up. And so they might be reticent in communicating back with me because I come at whatever communication I'm doing with such confidence.
And next, I would just want to know what made you choose to study and become a marketing manager.
So, marketing has so many facets to it. You can be, if you're more analytical in nature, in pricing and promotion. If you're more creative in nature, there is advertising, marketing communications. If you are more on a creative or sales side, there is distribution or placement of products. And then finally, there's product marketing, the actually development of those products. And so I really like in that career that there's so many different avenues that you can go into.
Yeah. And I was wondering, why do you think that you'd be the best fit for this job?
Well, I've got extensive experience working as a marketing manager in a number of different industries, including financial services, telecommunications, and entertainment. And so I think my background of different aspects of marketing would make me a great generalist in your organization.
And looking to the future, I was wondering, what is the goal or goals you hope to achieve from gaining this job?
So I want to gain additional experience working on different types of problems that marketing can solve. I like to use the tools I already have in my toolbox, but apply them to different industries. And that just stretches me and keeps my creative juices going.
Okay, well, that was my final question. And throughout this interview, we did discuss, what types of communication that you think are useful to marketing and, the leadership challenges that you have faced, and also how you use creativity in marketing. Um, how do you think the accuracy of my summary was?
I do. I think we covered all of those areas.
Um, Thank you so much for coming to this interview.
Thank you for having me. Do you know when you're going to be making a final decision?
We'll definitely contact you soon.
Okay, great. Well, I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.